say what needs to be said, what we say what needs to be said, so you can say what needs to be said. Welcome back to the show, Monday Night Vibes. I think it's week 7, week 6, week 7 is a wrap, baby. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Man, we're trying to run this thing up to 20K. I need 20K subscribers. We're going to continue to run this thing up when I give it to y'all real, raw, and authentic, baby. Straight from the horse's mouth. Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel. We in the building tonight, and we got to get into a little business tonight. We're going to talk about the Ravens versus the Buccaneers. Got to talk about the Chargers versus the Cardinals. And we got to revisit the Jets versus the Steelers. There's a lot to talk about, man. A lot to get into, what was going on with the Steelers and, the Jets and things like that. But say what needs to be said. We're in the building tonight, man. Toast up to a good night, another day, another 24 hours. I can't complain about that, man. How y'all feel about these games tonight, man? Y'all talk to me in the chat. We're in the building tonight. We got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about the Ravens versus the Buccaneers. The Ravens versus Buccaneers, another good game, man. A good game. A lot of things unexpected that happened. And let's get into it. Let's talk about it, And Baker Mayfield, he was slightly starting to impress me in this game. He was starting to impress me. It's not easy to impress Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, but he was starting to impress me. Until the end of the first half and the rest of the game, he tried to bounce back and make some plays to try to bring his team back. But by then, it was too late. Baker Mayfield has a problem of turning the football over. That's his big problem. Now, on the first touchdown, that was such a great play design against cover 2. The first touchdown that Baker Mayfield threw to Mike Evans, it was such a good play design, right? It was a 2-route combination with two receivers being on 2 different levels, and they were both running go routes, putting a lot of stress on the cornerback, which they were playing cover 2. So you got two receivers, stretching your part of the zone, going deep in your route. And now you have a high-low concept because there is a running back coming to the flats, and your job is to play high to low and run and rally to the tackle and limit those yards as much as possible. But now this play doesn't look like your regular 7 route and a stop in front of it. So what he must do, if you're in no man's territory and you're unsure of the coverage, what is the best thing to do? Get the hell back. That's what Coach Belichick used to say. Get the F back. That's simple, man. Just get back and read the quarterback and play top down. But that was a great concept, man. That was a great play design. They started off hot, man. And that play put a lot of stress on the corner, and they was able to get a touchdown. That was a good play. Good design by Tampa. They knew the Ravens wasn't ready for that. They started off hot. And Buccaneers continued to be creative. That was a very creative play, and then it was a 4th and 1. 4th and 1, everybody's expecting the ball to go right up the middle, jam the middle up. The Ravens have those big hauls at the front 7 and front 4, front 5, whatever you call it. They're very good at the run. They fake the run and do a sweep for 4th and 1. I wasn't expecting it. And if they wouldn't have got it, of course it would have been a bad play. That's just how it goes. So you take those chances. Coach took that chance, and they got the play. They started off hot, man. And then head coach Todd Bowles, man. The head coach Todd Bowles, who was also the defensive coordinator, or he is responsible for calling defensive plays, right? And Bowles' defensive identity is to keep that pressure on with his blitz packages. And that's what makes the Buccaneers so good. Blitzing and attacking. And when you blitz and attack, that makes the defense vulnerable. Because somebody's going to be open, a lot of one-on-one coverage going on. And on that next play, right, it was Lamar Jackson had just scored, right? He had just scored. On the next play, right after the Ravens had just scored, Lamar Jackson ran it in, and they threw a flag, called a flag on the play. Now, right after that play, right after Lamar Jackson ran it in, and the ref was point shaving, called the flag, it was like 2nd and 20. It was 2nd and long, not 2nd and 20, 2nd and goal, but The goal was like 2nd and 20, something like that. Todd Bowles draws up another blitz. He wants to bring that pressure. I'm guessing that was the game plan for the week. Apply pressure to Lamar Jackson because we don't want him to beat us. And what did they do? They sent the blitz, and the Ravens was ready for it. And they threw that screen to Hill, and it was wide open, and Hill did what he had to do and got into the touchdown. And you can't just blitz to be blitzing. You got to call blitzes on certain situations. You got to surprise the offense with a blitz. You don't just blitz. I'm going to blitz left, I'm going to blitz right. No, you're going to get caught slipping. It's going to be a big play. And that's one situation that Todd Bowles and Tampa Bay Buccaneers slipped up on, right? They was so aggressive with the calling of the blitz, and then boom, it backfired, right? Then you can see in the second half or the next red zone play. I think it was the next red zone series. Same situation, 3rd and long. Todd Bowles woke up. Say, I can't blitz because they're gonna hit me with the screen. And he sat back in coverage, made the ball sit, come in front of you, rally up, make a tackle, and the Ravens had to settle for 3 points on that play. Good job, but you had to pay for it the first time. In life, you want to have foresight. Not hindsight. Hindsight is perfect to everybody. Foresee everything that is about to happen before it happened, and then you don't have to say, man, yeah, man, I wish I'd have known. Hindsight 2020. No, man, you got to have more foresight in this world, man. But yeah, man, but this was another MVP performance. Another MVP performance by the great Lamar Jackson himself. Yeah, we're going to call him great because what he does is great. It ain't just passing the ball. Just because you're a quarterback, you don't have to just pass the ball anymore. That was another great MVP performance. I can't lie. And he didn't need Derrick Henry to rush for 200 yards in order for him to pass all over the Buccaneers defense tonight. You know what I mean? Last week, Derrick Henry went crazy, and they went crazy. Who they played last week was the Saints, right? Or somebody. They went crazy. He didn't need to rush for 200 yards. Even though he did have a good game, he got close to 200 yards, but all that was extra fluff. That was fluff yardage. The game was pretty much sealed. He was just putting a stamp on it. You know what I mean? Actually, Lamar Jackson opened up the running game for Derrick Henry. The score was 28-14 or 34-14, something like that, before Derrick Henry finally broke that long run. One of his longest run of the game. You know what I mean? So it seemed to me that Lamar Jackson opened up their running game for Derrick Henry by passing all over them jokers tonight. He was letting that ball go, man. I'm so impressed and proud of the development of Lamar Jackson, the way he's thriving and becoming a better and more accurate quarterback, and probably taking it more serious. That's how it goes, man. You get older, you get mature. And it's something about when you get that contract. You land that contract, you have that weight on your shoulder. I have a responsibility to make this team as best as I possibly can be, because I hold myself accountable for these folks blessing me and my family with this money. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it means, What up, chat? What it do? Lockjaw Jones, Melrose in the building. What it do? What's happening, man? Y'all, you see we up night, man. I got my Chargers gear on, but AJ ain't play, Chargers ain't win, but it's all good, man. Now, man, like I said, Lamar Jackson opened it up for Derrick Henry and trying to tackle Derrick Henry, who is 6'2"? No, he's like 6'4". I stood next to him in the elevator. He's like 6'4", every bit of 260 pounds. I tried to tackle him for 4 quarters consistently will wear any man, human down. Man, human, team, whatever you want to call it. Somebody that big and strong and fast running at you full speed, and your job is to tackle him with all your buddy. That will wear any team down. Yes, before he's wore down. And to stop a running back of that magnitude, you need at least 8 good defensive linemen in rotation. Stay fresh, because that's what you're going to need to stop that big body. Because when he decides to turn it on and put in that extra effort and gear and things like that, how you stop him if nobody's penetrating the line of scrimmage? How? Because if he get going before any penetration happens, that's first down. That's 3 yards, and eventually he's going to pop. And that speed is so deceptive that every time he breaks, you see him running past defensive backs, and they not gaining ground at the angles. That's unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. That was one thing I pride myself on. A running back cannot break, and I'm not able to catch him on an angle. That means I got very slow. That means I'm very slow, and I don't recognize my speed anymore. I need to work on my speed. But I like how a game really started really slow. I like how the game is really starting to slow down for Lamar Jackson, man. Yeah, like I say, man, he looks more confident than ever. His decision making is very decisive when he's passing, and he understands when he has to be creative and be elite to provide that next level of talent for his team. And he does it, man. He wears it on his back, and it's back-to-back spectacular performances, man. And all he has left to develop, to me, all he has left to develop is a good fade ball. If he could put good touch and lead the receivers out there on a good fade ball, or develop a nice back shoulder, to what's number 15 name, to one of his bigger targets. Now, of course, not Xavier Flowers. That's all I think he's missing. And once he starts to develop that, people in man-to-man, and you can just throw it up and throw those back shoulder fades like Eli Manning and Peyton Manning used to do. That's the only thing I see him missing as a true bona fide pocket passing quarterback. He's a great running pass quarterback. He can run and pass in the pocket and run the ball. He needs to develop a little fade ball. Trust me, as a cornerback, we hate those fade balls because our back is turned, and we don't like to play with our back turned to the ball. We want to see the ball. We got to get our ball, man. We got to get that ball. So that's all, man. That's all I want to see. That's all he has left to develop, man. That's all Lamar Jackson have left to develop, man. And Lamar Jackson was, like I said, he had an MVP performance. He was 17 for 22 and 5 touchdowns, scoring 41 points, and dominating, man. That was dominating performance. And then, the Bucks got in lucky at the end, got a nice onside kick. That was a beautiful kick, played well. When you prepare and you execute like that, you can't do nothing but give it credit, because you spend countless hours preparing for that. And that was a great execution. And they got, 10, 14 points after that. That was all good. It was all good. Now, the Ravens defense, man. What do y'all say about the Ravens defense? Yeah, they're good, but they're also bad. They're good and bad. And the Ravens defense is horrible in man-to-man coverage. That was the reason Baker Mayfield was going off in the beginning of the game, because they were sitting in man-to-man coverage, trying to blitz, thinking they can just do whatever to the receivers, and the receivers running right past, running right past those defensive backs. You got Marlon Humphrey and you got number 2. They made some plays, but we're going to get into that. But when they was playing man-to-man coverage, it was very, very tough for those boys to cover Mike Evans and the other talented receivers for the Buccaneers. Now, he looked awesome throwing, like I said, that ball against man-to-man coverage tonight. But when the Ravens switched to zone coverage, Baker Mayfield started to struggle bad, and he turned the ball over. And some things just don't change in life. We are who we are, and Baker Mayfield is going to turn that ball over. He threw 3 interceptions last week against the Saints. I think I said the Ravens played the Saints. Sorry, Baker Mayfield threw 3 interceptions last week against the Saints, even though they won and they put up 51 points. You can't turn the ball over like that against good teams and expect to continue to win in the NFL, especially against a team like the Baltimore Ravens. He threw 3 interceptions last week and 2 interceptions in the first half tonight, and one in the red zone, one that was very crucial into this game. One in the red zone, right to Marlon Humphrey, the Ravens defense. Like I said, when the Ravens switched to zone defense, Baker Mayfield started to struggle. Even though that first touchdown, like I say, the first touchdown, you got to understand, when you come out in the game, each offense has a 15-play script that they're going to run through these 15 plays. They're almost guaranteed to work. That's all. They've been working on it. They know everything that's going to match up somehow, some way. The 15-play script it just works for some reason. Unless something goes bad, you fumble the balls, drop pass, so on and so forth. All right, and but yeah, so he got through the 15-play script, but after that, the man-to-man, after they stopped that man-to-man, after the 15-play script, he struggled horribly, man, and he couldn't find an open man. It was hard for him to find an open man. It seemed like the Ravens, that purple was dropping back in every zone, covered the whole field. That's what it looked like to him. And then he continued to turn the ball over in big games. And that's why it's going to end. That's how it's going to end. And with Marlon Humphrey, he found himself in the right place on that. I give it to him. It was a good play. He came off his receiver and made a play in the red zone. But it's easy pickings off Mayfield, man. If I'm a defensive back, I'm excited to play the goddamn Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, because guess what? I know out of 4 quarters, 4 hours, 60 minutes, he going to get me at least 2 or 3 chances to get my hand on the ball. And I'm going to change the game. I'm going to make a play. I'm going to make a goddamn play. That's how you have to think now. That mentality, that opportunity is going to come. And Baker Mayfield, yeah, man. Don't weigh your hat on Baker Mayfield. Don't put your bottom dollar on him, man. It's a good defense that's covering up for all his bad mishaps and mistakes stuff. Then he got a little talent over there with White at running back and Mike Evans. But Baker Mayfield will tear the game up, man. At the end of the day, he will tear the game up. And he can fool you. He can play good in some games. But when it comes down to the thick and thin and the game's on the line and pressure, he's going to just let it fly and hope that it lands in the right spot. That's who Baker Mayfield is, and he will always be that way. He's on a good team now. And, yeah. All right, let's run through this Cardinals versus the Chargers. Chat, what's up, chat? Rick the Vegan Barber in the building, baby. That hat, you see me? I'm looking in the hat. How my camera looking? I've been working on things. My volume, I'm looking more crisp. I'm working. It ain't dark. We looking very, very swell. We looking beautiful, baby. Why your nephew wasn't out there tonight, man? The Chargers versus the Cardinals, Rick the Vegan Barber. Tell the people why nephew wasn't out there tonight. Everybody was waiting to see the rematch of Asante Samuel Jr. and Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I mean? Because Asante Samuel Sr. and Marvin Harrison Sr. already went at it. Like I said, I always like to say we was 50-50 on our matchup. He get me some games, I get him some games. But I got him more than he got me, I like to say. And I got him towards the end of my career. And I got paid. So I own the coach right now, Mr. Pick Six. Yeah. They ain't gonna tell y'all that in the media because they don't want to give me my credit and things like that, man. That's how they treat you, boy. That's how they treat Mr. Pick Six, man. I picked the Manning brothers off, man. How many times I picked the Manning brothers off? Probably a total about 6 times, not including the playoffs. Got playoff picks, touchdowns, all that good stuff. Tell the Manning cast to bring me on there and let's evaluate some picks, some touchdowns they might have scored on me, and let's show the fans and everybody, what we was going through and what was in our mind, man. Y'all hit up the Manning cast, man. Listen, there's nobody that can come on there and be more entertaining than me. Got both brothers right there. There's no one that went head to head and intercepted and have a lot of dialogue, man. Just basically, it'd be some good fun, man. It'd be some good fun. Now, the Chargers, man. What y'all think about the Chargers? The Chargers, to me, man, it's just a very basic team. It's like a very basic team that looks like they try not to do anything wrong. But, and I'm not sure if Justin Herbert is a basic quarterback or if I should put him in that basic category. I'm still trying to evaluate him. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Justin Herbert. Is he a basic quarterback or is he an elite quarterback? Because I'm still waiting to see, and I want to see him to get to play with more elite talent around him. That's the one thing I think that's hurting and holding him back. He doesn't have the talent around him that most of the other teams have, and that's it's not his fault. They drafting the players, they just not drafting the right players. You got the Mike Williams, the Quentin Millers, or whatever his last name is, but they all are the same type of athletes, same body build, same fast twitch muscles. Yeah, they have to get Justin Herbert the talent he needs, and Coach Harbaugh will continue to bring in good people to play for the Chargers, so we can count on that. So I'm not going to put Justin Herbert in the basic category along with his team. Maybe his team is just basic because of the players around him. All these players he have right now on the team, but we give it a year, and I'm gonna see how Herbert delivers. Right? Because he has some elite skills. Right? He has some elite skills. Herbert has some elite skills. He throws a pretty accurate ball, a very pretty and accurate ball. Now, if he had some talent, there's no doubt in my mind that they would be battling for the number one spot in the AFC, battling the Kansas City Chiefs each year. But right now, I can't see that. It's just not enough. It's just not enough breakaway talent on offense. But and it's just see like someone keeps sabotaging the draft. Like every time the draft come along, you expecting them to draft, these elite Malik neighbors and all this speed and talent, and they go draft a receiver from TCU that we barely know about. And then you get to training camp, and it's not working out so good. So they need to draft someone that's going to make a difference. Yeah. And Harbaugh going to get that done. Harbaugh will get that done. Now, right now, the Chargers, man, they're holding on for dear life, man. They were supposed to beat the Cardinals. That is a game where, let's say, I don't know, there are games on the schedule where you must win if you want to solidify yourself as a good team, right? And the Chargers are one of those teams. I mean, the Cardinals are one of those teams that the Chargers are supposed to beat if they want to be elite or a competitive team in the NFL. And right now, you're not. They're not looking like that. Arizona Cardinals is not very good at all. They barely can put points on the board, and the Chargers did not take care of business. And I don't know if the Chargers season is over yet, but I'm waiting to see them play like teams like the Ravens that's on the schedule. They got the Ravens on the schedule, they got the Buccaneers on the schedule, and they got the Steelers on the schedule. And if they could win just 2 out of those 3 games, I would look at them differently. Let's just say that. I would look at them differently. Everybody else they have to play on their schedules, pretty much slapdicks, pretty much like Arizona. But Arizona whooped that tail. And Kyler Murray, man, as electrifying as Kyler Murray is, he only made one big play tonight. One big play. This is the most erratic quarterback that just runs around and throw the ball I've seen since I don't know who else played like that. And his one electrifying play was that 44-yard run. He can run. He can get through. He can run the ball. He can be electrifying. But other than that, man, he's just a sporadic quarterback that gives you a lot of woos and way hays and yays, but no touchdowns. That's what you need, touchdowns. And both quarterbacks had one last chance to drive the team down for the scoring drive to win the game, and they both delivered. Herbert was more convincing. He was way at the goal line, and he drove his team down. But Kyler Murray won off a screen. It is what it is. It's a pass play. He delivered the screen, and it was nothing special. And he ran for the first pass and got him in field goal range. But other than that, the refs was reffing. they definitely were giving Arizona home field advantage tonight. They were giving Arizona home field advantage. Them calls that they were doing at the end of the game were very suspect. And I don't know that one holding call that they called on who was that they called that at one play on. That was very suspect, and that contributed to a first down, and could be the game. But let's talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. Man, I'm evaluating Marvin Harrison Jr. as a cornerback. What would I do to him, and how effective could he be to me? And I don't see anything special. Like I say, him and his daddy. I mean, me and his daddy went at him, but him and his daddy body type, route running ability, speed, quickness, all that stuff is pretty different. Me and my sons, we're pretty much the same type, body type, speed, build, things like that. It looks to me, man, like Marvin Harrison Jr. has a hard time creating separation against cornerbacks. And it's making life hard for Kyler Murray because that's the number one pick. Everyone is expecting Marvin Harrison to get the ball. And as I'm evaluating, I'm like, why is it so hard for Marvin Harrison to create separation and get open against these cornerbacks? And I'm not sure if he's lacking speed, if he's not fast, or he's not explosive, and he doesn't run his routes at full speed 100%. That's one thing that really can affect your separation as a receiver. You have to run your routes 100% and not give the cornerback no inclination of what route you may be running or which way you may be going. But it's looking like to me, and it's early. It's early. I'm going out on a limb early. But it's looking like to me that this pick may have been a bad pick, or they're not using him correctly, not using Marvin Harrison Jr. correctly, because it's very tough to give him the ball. It's very tough to give him the ball, and it seemed like anything Kyler Murray do to get him the ball it makes life hard for the offense. Marvin Harrison finished with 3 catches tonight, 21 yards, no touchdown, 10 yards. Was his longest reception. This is number 2, number 3 pick in the draft. Yeah, you got to get more production out of him. You got to get more production out of him and the quarterback. The quarterback was very suspect tonight, and they're not even playing against good teams. He's an electrifying quarterback, but if you only make one electrifying play, what the heck is that? How electrifying is that? You know what I mean? Shout out to the chat. Travis Allen in the building. What they do, one Mitch, I gonna mess that name out. I'm gonna mess that name up right there. But let's talk about the Jets versus Steelers. I got to double back. We got to revisit the Jets versus Steelers because I didn't hop on last night. And yeah, man, Russell Wilson did his thing. Aaron Rodgers showed up to the game. That's it. And the world, all of us, we finally got what we all been waiting to see. We've been waiting for Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams in a Jets uniform. And how would Devontae Adams make the New York Jets a better team? Y'all ever thought about that? How would Devontae Adams make the Jets a better team? Because they already have elite talent with Allen Lazard and Garrett Wilson, who are way better than, I ain't gonna say way better. We get into it. But like I said, Aaron Rodgers would play hard after making all these moves and causing all this confusion because he has a duty to prove that his ex-coach, Robert Saleh, was the problem. I said this before. Now, Rodgers in this game, he was a little sporadic. It didn't look like the normal Rodgers. He was off a little bit on a lot of those passes. But he showed that he will try his hardest and play his hardest because he made all these changes, and changes has been made because that's what he wanted. But that may not be good enough if him trying his hardest and playing his hardest. This is a four-time MVP of the National Football League. He should be playing at a high level always, especially if you're complaining about you need Devontae Adams, you need the head coach fired. Now it's all on you. The Jets didn't need to make this trade for Adams. That's what I'm here to tell y'all. The Jets didn't need to make this trade for Devontae Adams. Yeah, it adds more value. Yeah, it adds more value to the receiver room, but that trade would be more of a distraction for the Jets and not a step in the right direction to try to win a championship with Aaron Rodgers. That trade will be more of a distraction. I'm telling you. Because the Jets, like I said, they have Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard. Devontae Adams will be frustrated. He will be a frustrated receiver until he retires because his number one days as a receiver are pretty much over. The young boys got more juice. Devontae Adams is a good route runner. Yeah, that's not what it's about anymore. It's about who can run the route, get open, and take the ball the distance. Just because you can get open, catch the ball 10 yards, nobody wants to catch the ball for 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards, 90 yards all the way down to the touchdown. No, everybody can't stay focused that long and not get a penalty, not give up a sack or something like that. Somebody's going to mess up. It's 11 players on the field. And I think that's the problem with us players too. We get those egos. The older we get, we think we're still the young gunner that we was. And this is nothing but a friendship right here that I want my buddy to play with me because I want to have more fun. The young gunners are have way more juice than Devontae Adams. That's the truth. Y'all ain't watching Garrett Wilson out there? That man is talented. When he get that ball, he is trying to make something happen. He does not intend to get down to the ground. He does not intend to fall. Devontae Adams is going to try to catch the ball and Herbert and get to the ground once he sees them defenders coming ready to take his head off. Garrett Wilson wants to get paid. That's the difference in hunger. When you're not paid, you still want to go buy your mama this big house. You have this you want to build this house, buy all these acres, you want this car, this jewelry, all those things. That makes the young boys more hungry. I'm telling you. That's just psychological things in life. And Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams is just naturally he can't be as hungry as Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson been wanting this thing for 2-3 years. I've been watching his eyes. I'm telling you. Aaron Rodgers has no one else to blame anymore. No, Aaron Rodgers can't blame anyone no more. It's over with. He can't talk about the snap count. He can't talk about the cadence. He can't blame anyone but himself. Like I say, he made his team make these trades, do this firing, everything. Rodgers need to step up to the plate. It's time for Aaron Rodgers to contribute to this team at a very high level and put some career best performances together for this team because you demand so much. When you demand so much, Tom Brady wasn't demanding anything, and he was still winning with nobodies. Sorry to my teammates, I'm not calling them nobodies, but y'all get the analogy I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like these were I don't know if you would consider them average NFL players before they got to Tom Brady. You understand? But Aaron Rodgers owes so much to his team, man. They believe in him. They thought that trade was going to change things for the New York Jets, and Aaron Rodgers needs to deliver, man. It's plain and simple. Next game, if he plays spectacular this next game, that doesn't count. Everybody gonna ref and rave about the next game if he plays spectacular, but they're playing the Patriots. The Patriots isn't that competitive of a team this year. So I expect Rodgers and Adams to play well, get each other the ball, have fun, go to the media and spread all type of positive energy about the Jets because they just beat the Patriots. But I'm not going for it. I'm not. They got other teams that they need to play and do well against. Now the Jets, the Jets defense shouldn't even have any issues against the Patriots offense. I don't see Rodgers having to do much. So this game will definitely be dominated. And Aaron Rodgers just need to win point blank period. He has no more excuses left. He just needs to win. And not just win in the regular season. He needs to go win, at least get to the AFC Championship. Or the game before that. Something to bring some positive light into the New York Jets. and create some hope. Because right now, he's got rid of the hope and brought his drama and all his weird ways to the Jets organization. Shout out to the New York Jets, man. Shout out DJ Reed, man. He, the cornerback, underrated cornerback over there. He was down this game. There's a lot of people down, man. But for the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, Najee Harris, man. Y'all don't see the difference in Najee Harris from a couple of years ago to now. It's like he's running like he has something to prove now. He's a man on a mission. And when Najee Harris was drafted to the Steelers, he was a little bit hesitant when he used to hit that hole. It seemed like he was watching Le'Veon Bell old tapes, the ex Steeler running back Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell didn't go right to the line and press the line of scrimmage and hit the hole. He always waited for the holes to develop through his linemen. Linemen got great push. His linemen, he had a great offensive line, so they would get great push where he would just find the open lane, kind of wait for it. It was an unconventional style, not something that can work on every team. So I think that's how Najee Harris started to run in the NFL and thought that style would fit him. Until he learned something different. He learned that didn't work for him. You understand what I'm saying? He learned that didn't work for him. Somebody put a bug in his ear, or he decided to try another way. Either the coaching staff or the bell just went off. And he realized he gotta learn how to hit those gaps and hit those holes full speed and no timidness. He's too big to be not hitting that gap and hitting the hole full speed. And that will make him more effective. And that's exactly what's going on. Because I was saying that a couple of years ago, why is he not hitting that hole and hitting those gaps as hard as he can, pressing line of scrimmage? He's not too far from Derrick Henry. He's not too far off. A couple of inches shorter, maybe 5-10 pounds lighter. He's a load too. He's a load to bring down. If he hits that hole like that, he can do a lot of damage and help Russell Wilson out. And the Steelers' running game made Russell Wilson night very simple and simplistic, right? And he wasn't asked to do too much. The running game created a lot of man-to-man coverage, and that led to most of the big plays for Russell Wilson and George Pickens. And most of Russell Wilson's big plays were fade routes and one-on-one coverage. He didn't have to do too much. He had to read too many coverages, make the right read, or anything like that. One-on-one coverage, throw it up, let my best guy go make the play. And it's a high percentage play. That's how the NFL look at it. One-on-one coverage, man-to-man, the cornerback has his back turned. We're going to throw that up. That's a high percentage throw. That's what he did. Pickens made some hell of a plays, and Russell Wilson did throw a couple some really nice balls, a couple of really nice balls. Russell Wilson did throw a couple of really nice passes that were really on the money. But that was just a few. Some passes were falling short, but Pickens came through and made the play. Or Pickens and whoever else the other receivers was that was catching the ball. But that was just Russell Wilson's first game, so he had to knock off his rust. Russell Wilson definitely has time to knock off his rust, and especially in that the first series of the half, man, it had me looking like, what is Russell Wilson doing? Some of the passes he threw had me shaking my head. They were falling. He's like he was aiming for the feet or the dirt or something like that. You'll see the receiver right there and just aiming right for the dirt or the feet. It was wild. One play, he was trying to get rid of the ball and avoid the sack. But other than that, it was, he was rusty. He was rusty. We give it to him. He was rusty. But the one thing I can't see with Russell Wilson, man, Russell Wilson to George Pickens tandem, man, I can see them becoming a top tandem quarterback receiving tandem in the NFL. They look real nice together. And Russell Wilson, Pickens just needs somebody to get the ball to him. He has a lot of talent, man. He has a lot of talent. Another gifted receiver, just like Garrett Wilson. And I hear he a little crazy, a little psycho, like, AB. Something about the Pittsburgh Steelers picking them They know how to pick that talent. They don't pick the regular gifted receivers. We need a talented receiver that's gonna not do everything right. That's the type of players we need. That's how the Steelers identify the good receivers for them. Let's go pick the ones that's gonna cause some craziness. They good. I know how to deal with them. Something got to be going on, man. But it was a bold move, man. We can't lie, right? Steelers was doing so good. Everybody was, hyping Justin Fields up, being hopeful Justin Fields can get better, and having singing a good tune for Justin Fields. And that was a bold move by Mike Tomlin to decide to start Russell Wilson over Justin Fields. That was a bold move. It definitely was a bold move. But if you're watching Justin Fields and you understand football and the concepts and philosophies, Coach Tomlin understood or understands it's only so much he can accomplish with Justin Fields at quarterback right now, as he still needs time to develop into a complete quarterback or to be the best he can be. If that's where he's at, maxed out now, that's the best he's going to be, then yeah, he's not a starting quarterback, because it's only so far Justin Fields can take a team with his passing skills and pocket presence and so on and so forth. At least this season he can develop and get with the right people and make him a better quarterback. But everything is not hitting on point right now for Justin Fields. And I don't see the decision to start Russell Wilson as difficult as everybody want to make it to be. It's not that difficult. It wasn't that difficult. And Coach Tomlin, he went out and expressed, say, they asked him why he made the decision. He said, that's why they paid me the big bucks. That's why he's well compensated so he can make these decisions. And yeah, like I say, it's not hard. It's not that hard. The biggest question to me would have been, how much does Russell Wilson want? How eager is Russell Wilson going to go out there and fight for his team? Be that teammate, the leader that he once was, or everybody saw him to be. That would have been the question. And if you put him out there and he doesn't go out there and want to fight and lays down on your team and the teammates, that can be detrimental to the team, the chemistry, the morale, and everything. So you gotta understand and value. Head coaches got to be able to understand and evaluate these things in practice, or you can make a bad decision. Like I say, Wilson had to be at practice locked in, showing enthusiasm with his teammates and all type of stuff, and definitely better execution than Justin Fields. In order for Mike Tomlin to make this decision, it definitely had to be better. But at the end of the day, he made that decision, and it panned out against a good Jets team with a good defense. But did y'all see Russell Wilson's pregame interview, man? Russell Wilson has the best hype man interviews out of anybody. And he had that look in his eyes. I can't lie. He had that look in his eyes. And he walk around and talk like he's a clone or something. He looked like he's clone. But that look, man, he looks like it's something he's going through besides football, and he needs to snap out of it. But I can't lie, that pregame speech, boy, it had me fired up. His pregame speech, if y'all didn't see that pregame speech, go check it out. It had me fired up. It's a little, it has a lot of Russell Wilson in it, but it had me fired up. I was ready to go see him play and see what he was going to do. And I was locked in. He had me tuned in. And I was disappointed a little bit at first, in that first half. When that Russ was kicking in, all the Russ, it was some simple pass. Even on this first pass when he rolled out and dropped it short, the whole defense went for the run. And the tight end was open on the corner route, and everybody was open on those levels. And he decided to drop it off to the short man. Then he started to get somewhat comfortable, like I said. And he was hitting Pickens. Pickens made a few highlight plays, and they started rolling. And yeah. Russell Wilson did his thing, man. Russell Wilson proved everybody that he could still get it done when he had a lot of doubters over there. And that goes to show you that a head coach can mentally tear you up as far as Sean Payton goes in Russell Wilson, or either you don't, as far as us, the players, we don't have the mental toughness to understand how to fight this off and still maneuver and look at this as adversity, and this is going to make me better instead of just tanking. Never tank, man. Never allow anybody to make you tank, right? No, never allow anybody to let you tank. And yeah, that goes to say a lot about Russell Wilson. He's bouncing back, probably going through a lot of things mentally, and now he's with the Steelers, making a lot of money from the Denver Broncos, but it's like making 1.5 million with the Steelers. To him, he's not being compensated at all. So for him to go out there on that field and to play hard and put it on the line for his team, that's a lot for Russell Wilson in his head. It's a lot for Russell Wilson. So, shout out to Russell Wilson, man. He bouncing back. Sierra up there in Pittsburgh, that probably might be the problem. She might not be there. She's like, man, I'm going back to Atlanta. Wherever you building my house at, I'm going back to Atlanta. You got to go handle this football business. I don't want to be around for that too much. You know what I mean? But it's time, man. It's time to start recognizing Joey Porter Jr., man, as one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL. Top 10 cornerback. Did I say quarterback? Cornerback. Is Joey Porter top 10 cornerback in NFL right now? If he's not, he's knocking on the door. He's getting damn near close to it because he damn near doing his thing. Let me talk to the chat one time. One time for the chat. Chat say, we say NBA young boys, but has an edge and he's productive. Who was NBA? A1 forever. NBA young boyish, but he has an edge and he's productive. Who we talking about? Are you talking about Pickens? Let me see. Sierra got Russell in the headlock for sure. Yeah, that always be the problem. So got a suggestion. Big time Travis Allen got a suggestion. Say you got to start doing fave cornerbacks of the week, AFC and NFC wise. Yeah, I feel that. And right now, the cornerbacks of the week right now, I got to give it to Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey showed up. And we got Pittsburgh. What number, 31? He held it down. He made 2 big plays. Making those plays is awesome. But like I said, I've talked about Joey Porter. Joey Porter hold it down, and he deserves more credit. He's out there on the island, and he's locking up with the big dogs. Production is always top tier. But when nobody's that productive, now you got to figure out other ways to analyze and get those stats and see who's doing what, where, and how, and why. You understand? But tonight, Marlon Humphrey did a pretty good job. But the Ravens secondary, they can't play man-to-man at all. They're horrible at man-to-man. Number 2, what's his name again? And he got caught in man-to-man towards the end of the game. Baker Mayfield kind of missed the pass. He was wide open. Every time they put him in man-to-man, they don't know how to stay high on top of the receiver. That's what it is, chat. So we're going to see y'all on Thursday. And as I pop up on Wednesday, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Like I say, man, y'all share this. Y'all let everybody know Mr. Pick Six is always coming raw, uncut, and unbothered. Because I'm going to say what needs to be said, baby. That's the motto. That's the print. And like I say, y'all like, comment, subscribe, and y'all make sure y'all share. Y'all let them know Mr. Pick Six is going live in the building. Thursday, I have some extra wisdom for y'all. If y'all didn't see the last live, I gave some relationship advice for the men and the women. So y'all go check that out if you want some relationship advice. All right, Mr. Pick Six. Asante, Mr. Pick Six, I'm in the building. I'm out, man. Y'all check it out.